Hello, everyone, and welcome to Lilydale Radio. This is Embracing Your Essence. And in case you were previously watching about 3 minutes ago, I had tried to go live, but it wasn't working. But it seems to be working now. So amen to that. So welcome. Here we are on Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. I am Colleen Vanderzijden, a registered medium here in Lilydale. I'm also an intuitive life coach, intuitive soul coach. I'm also a spiritual teacher, also the author of the book, Courageously You. And we are here tonight. We are going to be talking about empathy fatigue. And as you are joining me, do say hello. We had a little technical difficulty a few minutes ago, but all seems to be well right now. Hello, Elizabeth. Thank you. It's good to know that I'm not talking to myself as I just was in my last little video you didn't get to see. Hello, Anne. Nice to see you as well. So, as I said, this is Embracing Your Essence on Lilydale Radio. Every Tuesday, usually, unless I'm traveling or something, I do a show, and it is called Embracing Your Essence because it's all about you and how you can embrace your essence, who you truly are, your soul, and live in the authenticity and joy that you deserve. So every week I talk about different things, and tonight we are talking about empathy fatigue. But before we get to that, the details, of course, of things I need to tell you. LilydaleAssembly.org is where you can find out all of the off-season Zoom workshops that are happening, as well as some of the 2025 summer workshops. They are up on the website. Not everything, but we're adding them daily. So there's a whole bunch there. And also, Lilydale Assembly Incorporated is the official Facebook page. And that is where you can also find out all of the workshops and things that are happening here in Lilydale now and next year. And my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. Now, if you want to make a comment tonight or ask a question, you do need to be on that page in order for me to see your comments or questions. So what else do I need to tell you? Let's talk about the weather for a minute as you're all joining on. We got 55 plus inches of snow here in Lilydale over the last 4 days. Isn't that stunning? So I've spent some time shoveling, which has been amazing. And you've probably seen some of my videos. It is beautiful, but it's darn cold. So that's been fun. And that's what we've been doing here in Lilydale. So hello to everybody. Hi, Jeannie. Hi, Dale. Hi, who did I see? Hi, Lisa. Yeah, we're surviving. Julie, yes. So glad we have power. Exactly. I don't know what we'd do otherwise. So nice to see you. And what I said we were going to talk about, and let me get right to that, is empathy fatigue. So here's the thing. We're going to talk about what that looks like and some energetic strategies and some mind shifts that can help you handle this. Again, you do want to be on my page so that I can see your comments. Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. If you're watching me on Lilydale, I think if you just go to there somewhere, maybe my link shows up. I'm not really sure. But remember, when you guys are trying to find me, I have the blue check mark next to my name. So that way you'll know it's the legitimate me. I've been verified by Facebook. So that is me. If you see any other profiles that look like me, sound like me, act like me, but they don't have that blue check mark, they're not me. So there's that. Hi, Yolanda. So, you, being the person that you are, and here watching my show, I can guarantee that you are an empath. I can guarantee that you have the sensitivities that go along with the empath label, if you will. You are a kind and caring person. I know you are. I can feel you. I'm psychic, of course. So you're a kind and caring person. You are sensitive. I know you are open-hearted. I know that you are very good with people around you. And I know that you feel their energies. And lots of times you want to help other people. It's part of your nature as who you are at this level. You feel other people's emotions as well, and sometimes you pick those up and carry them along with you, even though they're not yours. You'll know you do that if you spend all night worrying about one of your kids' issues or something like that, right? You are definitely somebody who enjoys emotional connections with other people, and it is highly, highly likely you are also a giver. You like to be there for people. If you help other people in any kind of service, if you're a medium, a healer, a teacher, a coach, a caregiver, a restaurant server, anything where you're helping people, or you are the family support person, and you know who you are because everybody calls you when they have a problem, right? It is more likely with all of these traits and qualities I just talked about, as well as if you are somebody who helps others regularly, it is likely you might be feeling some empathy fatigue right now. As I have mentioned previously, we are in a chaotic time and the consciousness is shifting, raising to a higher vibration. So the energy that is all around us is very intense, and it has been this way for a while. This year, particularly 2024, it has been ramping up, I guess is the best way to say it. It has been ramping up. In the last month or so, it's kind of calmed a little bit, and I mean that by very little. Prior to that, it was really getting strong, and it is going to, just to give you a heads up, ramp up again. Okay, so it's going to accelerate. This energy shifting is accelerating. There's a lot of things happening out there in the world that are reflecting these changes. And so much extreme uncertainty is contributing as well. There's a lot of emotional turmoil. As you all know, there's a lot of hatred, division, all of that stuff. I don't need to explain that to you, right? And let me just remind you, if you haven't heard me mention these things before, that in this consciousness shift, we are moving from a certain way of thinking and living into a higher vibrational perspective. So the darkness, of course, is coming up, right? The darkness has to come up to come to the light. So you, as a giving, caring, loving, kind, wonderful, good, empath person, you are very sensitive. And so you are picking up these energies. So add that along with what you're doing here in terms of helping other people and how you want to be there for others, etc., etc. And you are probably picking up a lot on some of this darkness energy too. Now I'm going to do a side journey for about 4 minutes because if you didn't hear me mention this in my previous show, I wasn't here last week because I was sick. So 2 weeks ago I mentioned this, that I have this new transcendence class called Transcendence, Rise Above the Darkness. And I'm mentioning this because Spirit gave me all of this information. It is all channeled, okay? And it is a 4-week adventure, I'm calling it, to strengthen the love and light of your soul and to help you move into that life of a higher vibration. Spirit is insistent that this is our solution to help us as we move through this consciousness shift and move into that higher vibration. And you, being who you are, and I am talking to all of you, whether you're watching live right now or you watch the recording later, I am talking to all of you because all of you are alive at this very time for a reason. It is to help spread the love and light in the world. Now, of course, if we are suffering from empathy fatigue, which I will go over more in a minute, it can be a little bit hard for us to stay in that space. However, what we want to do is, with this information that was given to me, I have been using it and my coaching clients have been using it, and it is helping us move into a different way of living where we're trusting our soul's guidance and we're reclaiming that peace and joy that we want. And I'll let you know more about that, but you can find out about that on my website. It is a very inexpensive class because Spirit wants me to reach as many people as possible, and I just have to make sure it's worth my time, of course, right? So if you are experiencing empathy fatigue, you are going to be feeling some of these things I'm going to talk about. Now, let me know what resonates with you as I'm talking about something. If it makes sense to you, put it in the comments. Oh, yes, I get that. That makes sense, etc., etc. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask them as we go. You know how things go. Sometimes I'll go off on a tangent for you and give you a little personal guidance as we go. So remember, you must be on my page to ask that question or whatever. Make a comment. That's Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach. So the first thing that comes up, and these are in no particular order, okay, but these are signs, if you will, that we are experiencing empathy fatigue. Number 1, feeling other people's pain becomes overwhelming. Have you noticed that whether it's somebody you know or it's a story you hear about or whatever it might be, where your heart hurts for other people? Okay, your heart hurts. This is a sign of you and your open-heartedness and your loving, kind nature. Thank you for the stars, Dale. And so that is a sign that, this pain that you're feeling for other people is becoming overwhelming. Another thing is that it's hard to keep your energy up and stay positive or hopeful. Right? It can be hard. You might be feeling hopeless or powerless and thinking, oh, there's nothing we can do. And it just feels in a way as though we're swimming upstream or we're on a treadmill and we can't get off. We just keep going and going. And even though it's the same speed and it's manageable or usually is manageable, but now it's just not anymore. So it's hard to keep our energy up. Another thing is you might have noticed that you're becoming more irritable, more anxious, tense, or stressed. Maybe you're triggered more easily. You can get quickly stuck in worry or repetitive thoughts. And you might have even said things like, it's just too much. The energy is just too much. Maybe somebody asks you to do something and you're like, I can't, it's just too much. Okay, so these are some signs of empathy fatigue, and there are more. Problems sleeping. How many of you guys are feeling this and having problems sleeping? Now, a lot of us, especially middle-aged women, we have problems sleeping anyway, right? But you may have noticed it's worse. Or on the other hand, you might notice you're sleeping more deeply and more soundly. And this could be another sign of being empathy fatigued. Okay. Another thing is that you can feel very heavy. And I mean that energetically and even physically, that you just feel very heavy. You might feel slow or apathetical or just so tired and exhausted, like drained. There's no energy left in your body. You might feel like you don't want to do anything at all. I just don't want to do anything. Even things you enjoy or work that you need to get done or want to get done, it's just like, oh, I just can't do it. And along with this heavy feeling, you may notice, and this is an interesting, I'm going to call it a symptom for now, an interesting symptom. You might notice you're walking slower because you feel heavier. Have you noticed this? It is so strange, but I've heard other people saying the same things, right? And in this energy, this heavy energy where we're slow and apathetical, we might feel like we just want to give up. We just want to give up. We're done. We're just done, right? Then, because of all this stuff, right, we want to hide away and not interact with anybody. We don't want to talk to anybody. If you have a snow day, for example, and you don't have to go to work, you're like, yes, amen, I don't have to talk to anybody. So you may not want to interact with people because it takes so much energy to even be nice or say hello or whatever. Another thing is that you might be noticing is that maybe you've been supporting other people energetically or physically, right? You're there for them. But then, you care so much and you might feel badly because it's hard to maintain. You're like, I really don't want to talk to that person on the phone right now. I really don't want to go help whoever I have to help. I just don't want to. So then we feel badly because we're caring people, right? We don't want to leave them in the lurch and we don't want to not be there for them. But here's a little trap. Because of being kind, wonderful people, right? Sometimes we feel like we have to be there for them, and then we end up sacrificing our own wants and needs, which further depletes our energy. So we need to find a balance between helping other people and not depleting our own energy. So with that, if you are that kind of person that's there for other people, you've got to be very aware. And I do have several strategies tonight that will help you manage your energy, and any questions or anything you have as we go, or even later, I may have more information on those. So with all this, so you're helping people, you're feeling off, blah, blah, right? You might move into a state of not caring, where you don't care if someone's suffering. You just don't. And it's not that you're a bad person. It's just that your energy can't do it right now. So something happens and you're like, oh, that's too bad for them. It's like we go numb and we shut down there, right? So we can be numb, detached. It's like we're in this fog where normally we'd be so, trying to be loving and caring. And now we're like, oh, whatever, figure it out yourself, which is so not like us, right? So this is another sign. And then what can happen with that is we may not respond appropriately if somebody shares bad news, something's happened to them. We might move into fixer mode or try to answer whatever their question might have been or whatever, rather than saying, oh, I'm sorry that happened. we just don't have the emotional or mental bandwidth to even empathize with someone. And then for a lot of us, if that happens, then we feel so badly because that's not us. And, oh, it's like we hurt them or something. So along with this, of course, and you know this one, the empathy fatigue, is we avoid the newspapers, and we really should avoid a lot of social media, except for my stuff, of course. But we really need to avoid those more negative things, especially. With this fatigue, it can also be very hard to concentrate or focus on something. It takes all your energy to get through it. Last week when I was sick and I was writing my Tuesday newsletter, it took all my energy to put something on a page and get it out there. I mean, it was just like, and when I finished, I was just exhausted. And now when I'm writing those, I'm channeling the information. It's coming to me. I'm not sitting there figuring it out. So I'm channeling it, but even holding that space for channeling was hard for me. So you might be experiencing some of these things where it's hard to concentrate, or maybe you're forgetful. Somebody said something to you and, 4 seconds later, you're like, did you say that to me? Or did we even talk about this? You just don't remember. And then all of this piles up, if you will, to make us feel like we can't make a difference, like we don't matter. We start to feel like a victim. People don't like what we're doing, or I'm just not good enough and I can't do this. And then we might blame other people for how we feel. So have you noticed some of these things in your life, especially more recently, in terms of this empathy fatigue? Have you experienced some of those things? It is wild out there, right? And this energy is affecting us. Laura says, hamsters on a wheel. And Julie, oh my, yes, the irritability and anxiousness are bad. We just don't feel like ourselves, do we? We really don't. And let me just tell you, there's nothing wrong with you, okay? You've done nothing wrong, okay? What we want to do is acknowledge what is happening, because it is, again, related to the energy that's all around us. And part of it is our own, each of us, we're evolving our own evolution into living as our soul. And this is part of the reason why Spirit was so insistent that I teach this Transcendence Rise Above the Darkness class. They did not let it go. And I was like, okay, I got it. And it's so important for us that we allow our souls to evolve. So what we're feeling is actually going to be helping us in so many ways. Jennifer says, I'm describing her life for the past few months. Isn't that interesting? And you're not alone. I know so many other people are feeling this. And Jeannie's saying sleep is really weird. Julie, bingo, on point. Hi, Randy. It's a shield protecting us. And Jennifer, I'm like a turtle hiding in my shell. So this makes sense to you. Definitely write some comments in here. And if you're not on my page, I can't see your comments. So Colleen Vander Zijden, medium and intuitive life coach with the blue check mark next to it so that you know on my page. So what we're going to do now is we are going to talk about how to protect your beautiful empathic energy while maintaining your loving heart, right? So how do we balance ourselves and our own energy, protect our energy, not sacrifice ourselves with our natural inclination to be there for other people? How do we do this? So I've got lots and lots of ideas and thoughts, and I'm sure more will pop into my head as I am talking today, because Spirit, they're just not leaving me alone lately. So Jan, all of them, and physical issues combined. My kids think I'm getting dementia or something like that. That isn't helpful. It makes sense though, right? Because our energy, we can only do so much. Truly, we can only do so much. And the first thing to think about which isn't on my list, but the first thing to think about is recognizing that, again, that there's nothing wrong with you, but also that whatever is happening, you're supposed to be experiencing it because it is bringing you to a greater awareness of yourself. And also to recognize that even with this, where maybe what we tend to do as humans is we compare ourselves. Well, I used to be able to do this all the time, or my memory used to be better, or I don't understand why this is triggering me. I don't understand why I'm so irritable. This is no big deal. All of those things are just a sign that your sensitivity, your energetic sensitivity is getting stronger, which is what we want, actually, right? Because then we're going to be able to pick up on our intuition better. We're going to be able to connect with other people on a more authentic, genuine, heart-centered level. We're going to be able to do all of these things. So it's actually helping you. I know it doesn't feel like it, but that's what's going on. Excuse me. This doesn't mean that you're going to not to do something about it, right? Because we do want to feel better. We live in a human life and we want to enjoy it. Yolanda's saying, I don't even want to live on this planet anymore. And this would be, I would normally say at that point that if anybody is thinking about leaving the planet early on purpose, by your own hand, don't do that. Call a suicide prevention line. And I know Yolanda's not saying that, okay? But I understand what she's saying, that there is such a disarray, and that's such a mild word for what's happening, such a turmoil and chaos in the world that it's hard to be here right now. Let's remember, though, that if you are here alive at this time, you are here to spread your light. You are here to live and be and shine. So the first thing to really think about beyond that first thing I just said, so the second thing is, this is obvious what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. Obviously, to protect our energy, to replenish our energy, we have to do self-care. We really do. And we have been taught to not check in with ourselves. We have been taught to power through. So we need to protect and replenish our energy. We need to get outside and walk, or walk on a treadmill if you can't get outside, or walk around your house and go up and down the stairs, whatever. We need to eat better. We need to avoid the junk, the sugar, the alcohol, the drugs. We need to get into nature. We need to do this. We need to take time for stillness and to slow down, to meditate, to breathe, to listen to music, have a hot shower or bath because the water helps clear your energy. We need to do things we enjoy, things that are fun. So those are all part of self-care. And why don't we do them? Right? So many, we know this. We see it all the time, right? Eat better, exercise, blah, blah, blah. There's lots of reasons why we don't do them. Okay, one is we might be using all of our energy to simply survive, and we don't have any left over to commit to self-care, or we don't have any left over to say to ourselves, oh, you know what? What I really should do to feel better is go sit in stillness for a minute, because our brains just aren't working, right? They're just not working. If we're using all our energy just to simply survive, then for me to even say, well, eat better, it's like, I'm not eating better, because we haven't gone to the grocery store. We don't have good food because we haven't taken the action for it. So, and then the other things, another reason why we might not do this self-care is whatever we're doing, we're using it to numb ourselves or to solve an emotional problem, like emotional eating, right? We do this a lot, right? If you're upset, maybe you reach for the sugar, right? And by the end of the day, you really have used up all your energy. And so if somebody says, hey, you want a pound of M&Ms? You're going to go, yeah, yes, I do. And even though you know you shouldn't be eating it because you've used up your energy. So now here, the quickest way around this stuff, because we're not going to solve all those problems, right away. So the quickest way around this is to pick one thing and do one thing only. You don't have to think about it. Just do it as part of your day. So maybe it's drinking more water. When we drink more water, we have more energy in our body. When we drink more water, our bodies feel better. For those of us with arthritis, or we're stiff, or whatever, if we drink more water, we feel better. So that's a simple one, right? Okay, so another thing you can do is just pick one thing, is as you're getting ready for your day, just focus on your breath and just relax as the first thing you do in the morning. You can be brushing your teeth while you're relaxing or washing your face, whatever, right? So you put one thing into the routine, nothing huge. We're moving into January where everybody's going to talk about their New Year's resolutions, etc. And I always do a show in January on setting your intention for the year because that is more effective than resolutions. But you can do one thing at a time, and you can work on your emotional problems when you're emotionally and mentally stronger. So if you're barely surviving right now, you have so much empathy fatigue that you can't think straight, you're not sleeping well, don't worry about the stuff. Just do the best you can to get through the day and do one simple thing, and that will help. That will definitely help. Check in the comments for a minute. The God of Chaos. Yeah, you're welcome. Julie says, it is always good to be reminded whether we are tired of this planet or just our current situation, right? And we will go through the ebbs and the flows where sometimes we feel amazing and other times we don't. And if we recognize that and accept that that's the way life is, it's so much easier when we're in a downtime to go, you know what, it's not going to last forever. So it's okay. I gotta take some water because I'm dry. I have a little leftover congestion going here. Okay, so now next we're going to talk about some strategies that can help. Before I do that, I do want to actually give you a little bit more information on that transcendence class. This is for you, okay? If you want to and are willing to change your mind and are ready to live life from a higher vibration. Some people don't want to, and that's fine. If you don't want to, that's cool. If you want to live from a higher vibration as your soul, could be for you. If you want to simplify your life, letting go of the fear, the worry, or the overwhelm, the transcendence class, the rising above the darkness is going to be for you. If you want to have more peace and joy, it seems like a given to me, but then again, some people don't really want that. And if you're willing to make a commitment to be in your soul's love and light, because what we're going to do is we're going to connect your soul to the divine even stronger, so that you are going to be listening to your soul. You're going to be listening to your soul's guidance and everything. It's going to be amazing. It's 4 weeks of classes, all recorded. You have two options, Sunday at noon until 1:30 or Monday nights, 7 to 8:30. And those times are Eastern time. And it is an amazing deal financially. Okay. So I do want to just acknowledge this for you. I'm doing it for you. Well, actually, I'm doing it for Spirit because they said I had to do it. So I'm doing it for Spirit first because they said you want it. And personally, I wish I'd had something like this not so long ago, a couple years ago even, where because the information they gave me on how to live differently, I feel so much better since I've been practicing the things they gave me. I have to tell you, it's really stunning. So we're going to be doing that. Okay, anyway, looking at the comments again, M&Ms. Laura says she saw something about opening your windows for 10-15 minutes once a week in the winter to let fresh air in and old stagnant air out. And that is such a great idea. And Bridget is talking about mindfulness, the simple little things, right? Yeah, so we are really good about these things. So here's some things to think about that you can play with. I got a whole list, no particular order, things that can help you. And if you've ever watched me before, or you're on my mailing list, you know I love my intentions. So what we want to do when we are feeling that empathy fatigue, we're so tired, we're having so many issues, we're just not feeling like ourselves, we're just ready to give up, etc. Set an intention of how you want to feel, a positive intention. Okay, so this sets the direction of your day. So when you get up in the morning, you're brushing your teeth, etc., you're in the bathroom, right? Figure out how you want to feel. Like, how do you want to feel during the day? Maybe you want to feel peaceful, calm, focused, energetic, clear, whatever it is you need on that particular day. And so then you would say you want to feel peaceful. You would say, I am peaceful. And we say I am because that means you are it right now. Okay, I am. It's a very powerful energy. I am peaceful. Take a nice deep breath and then feel how you would feel if you were peaceful. This is so simple. It would take you 30, 45 seconds to do. This will set the tone throughout your day. And what's happening is you're reclaiming your power. When we are in empathy fatigue, we feel powerless. We feel like we are in this, like on these waves of the ocean or something, and we just keep getting hit with waves over and over again, and we can't catch our breath. But in the morning, if you decide to set an intention, you're in charge. You're saying, I'm going to set an intention, and this is how I'm going to feel today. I am peaceful. You have now reclaimed your power. You're back in your space. You're going to start feeling like yourself. As you go throughout your day, you are going to find opportunities to choose peace. You're going to find times where you are peaceful. You're going to find other people even that seem to be very peaceful, and you'll notice. This is amazing, simple, 30 to 45 seconds to do. Now, with all the things I'm going to give you tonight, pick whatever you like. Pick one, okay? And you can always watch the recording again. Okay, another thing you can do to help yourself, if you are feeling very depleted, your energy is gone, you're done, you're just done, okay? You can do an energy bubble around you. And a simple way to do this is to envision, imagine, visualize a bubble that will go about 3 feet below your feet and all around your body and 3 feet above your body. So it's like a big oval egg around you. Okay, so that's what it's going to be. Stand wherever, or even sit if you want to. It doesn't make any difference. And close your eyes and pretend, imagine, feel energy coming up from the earth. And it will go to the bottom of your feet, then up through your feet, then your ankles, then your calves, and will slowly fill up this bubble around you. When I do this, I like to imagine, because you know me, sparkles and cool colors coming up from the earth into my energetic field, in my body, in my energy, and all around me. So twinkling colors, sparkly colors. And as I do this and I feel this energy coming up, I will frequently feel like tingling on my legs or other sensations. And so you just take a few minutes to fill this bubble up. Okay. Now, what this energy bubble is going to do, it is going to protect you from outside energies. It is replenishing your own energy. Okay. So you're going to feel stronger. You're going to feel more capable. You're going to feel more confident. Okay, so we want to do this. An energy bubble is a great way to replenish your energy and protect yourself from outside energies that we don't want to have. Okay, you can also, if you are going out, say, to a big box store, such as Walmart, and the energy can be chaotic in there, as we know, you can put a wall up around yourself that just is there, right? An energetic wall. And you can intend to be invisible if you want. Just intend to be invisible. People won't notice you. You can do this. When you're doing this, you're in your power. So those are some energetic ideas to help protect yourself. The bubble is a great one for refilling your energy. Another very important mind shift that we need to be aware of when we're experiencing this empathy fatigue. When we do a mind shift, which means changing our mind, looking at something differently, it shifts our energy. We're back in our power when we're changing our minds, when we're shifting our minds. So mind shifts are very important. And one that can be very helpful for us is to give ourselves permission not to do anything. Oh my, right? Because we feel like we have to. We have this leftover programming and conditioning from society, life, family, whatever, where they say, don't be lazy. Don't sit on that couch. Get up and do something. You know, society rewards us for powering through. Oh, you're powering through. You're so strong, amazing, wonderful, wonderful. But that turns into being ingrained within us to not take care of ourselves, to not pay attention to what we need, to not take breaks. So if we are feeling so bleh that we don't want to do anything, then don't do anything. Okay, just don't do anything. And however, of course, if you're doing this for a long time, and I'm talking days, and you're not getting up, then this is a sign that we do need to reach out to a licensed professional mental health counselor, therapist, or something to help us. Okay. So this is the not doing something is for those of us who tend to power through and do need to take a break sometimes, right? We do need breaks. But if you're getting stuck in there and you think you're depressed and it's been going on for a while, then you take action and get some help with that. Now, usually with this idea of not doing anything, we feel this pressure that we have to do something. And when we feel pressure, with pretty much everything, okay, we're feeling pressure, it's actually coming from ourselves. It's self-pressure. Now, somebody just said, but wait, these people are pressuring me to do whatever. When someone is pressuring us, what's happening is we're actually getting triggered. Okay, so we're getting triggered, and that helping part of us says, oh, I want to help them. I want to avoid a conflict. I want to make sure I'm doing what's right, what's acceptable, so I'll get approval or whatever it might be. So their pressure is triggering us, our own pressure, and then that's what's happening. So whenever you feel pressure to do something or pressure, do something like that, just recognize that you actually have responsibility for that and you can change it. Bridget, I think of a break as doing something and just being still and not busy. I actually wrote something like that in my newsletter today, which was doing something sometimes is choosing to take a break. That is doing something. We're making that choice. Now, for ourselves, when we're giving ourselves permission to not do something or whatever, we're the only ones who know what we need. Okay, so you're the only one who knows what you really need, and you're the only one who is going to take action to protect your energy. I can't save you. Your partner can't save you. You're the only one who can take this action to protect your energy and do what you can do. You get to decide what you're going to do or not do. So when you're giving yourself permission to not do something or do something, check in with yourself. See if that's what your soul really wants you to do. Check in and see. Okay, so that's so important. Now, on another note, even though I'm like, okay, if you need to take a break and lie on the couch for 3 days, that's cool. Even though I'm saying that, it's really important for us, especially when we're experiencing the empathy fatigue, to have the human connections. We need to have connections. And I know there are times where our energy is just so blah that the thought of talking to somebody else or going to visit somebody or going to do something, we just really don't want to. But we must be a little bit cautious that we don't allow that to happen too much, right? Because I can notice that when sometimes I feel like that where I don't want to talk to anybody. But I do know that if I spend time, like we had our neighbors come over a week or so ago, and that was fun. I do know when I spend time with other people or when I'm doing a show here or a coaching group or something like that, I feel better. Okay, I have people I can talk to, and I feel like I'm in my flow more. So we want to spend time with people we trust. So for people in the soul empowerment community, you can share things with each other there in our Facebook group or in the Mighty Network site. You want to share things with family and friends. We've got to be discerning. We aren't going to just share, like if you've got a jerky person in your life, don't tell them your deepest things that are going on. Okay, you want to share with people. You can get together with somebody and just do fun things, or maybe even volunteer if that's something you're interested in. The connections really help us replenish our energy. They really do. I know back during COVID time, and we couldn't go anywhere or do anything, I ended up having a 45-minute conversation with one of the employees at Home Depot because that was the only person I'd seen in so long. And I think it was the only person she'd seen for so long where she actually had a conversation. And I left feeling so much better after having that connection. Now, here's something really fun to do. If you have friends who are interested in energy work, playing with energy, healers, etc., what you might do to strengthen some of these connections is practice or play with sending energy to people who are not physically with you. So say you have, I have a sister who lives in Vermont. So if she was into this, sending energy, which I don't believe she is, but if she were, I could say to her, hey, let's get together, 7 o'clock, whatever night, and I'm going to send you energy, and I want you to tell me what you're feeling, and then reverse it and just have fun, because you might be surprised to find out that sending energy to somebody else, that they can feel the energy you're sending, and it will strengthen your connection even though you're not physically present, right? Okay, so, and if you are needing support, it's hard with the empathy fatigue. Honestly, talking with somebody about the fears and the worries brings it up into the light, and it actually loses some of its charge, and it won't be so heavy on us. So we can do that and choose somebody that can listen and hold space for you and support you. That will help. Now I'm just going to check the comments, see if I've missed anything. And for those of you who are on Lily Dale's page, if you have any comments you want to make, jump over here to my page, Colleen Vanderzijden, medium and intuitive life coach, and I can see your comments. Greg says, research suggests we can sustain focused concentration on a task for about 45 minutes, and then we start to get diminishing returns. We could take a 10 or 15-minute break on the hour to actually boost productivity. Yes. And when I was teaching in the school district, they told us 20 minutes on one topic, 20 minutes, and then switch to a different topic. So if you're working on a project, you might do 20 minutes in a certain area and 20 minutes someplace else as well. Lisa says she's in Florida, yay, on a me vacation, doing whatever I want to do or not do. Oh, those are the best. Yes. Laura says, if you don't have someone, speak to spirit or the universe. Feel better after just getting it out. And that is true. And of course, you can always write things out. Now, some of these other things that I've talked about in previous shows and in classes here and there, but these are some energetic ways that can help you if you're feeling empathetically overwhelmed, okay? And sometimes, again, when we're feeling this empathy fatigue, we forget what we can do to help ourselves. We just forget because our brains aren't working. So you can ground yourself, of course. My favorite one, which I've mentioned previously, is to feel the bottom of my feet, like draw my attention to the bottom of my feet and see what I notice there, sensations I might experience. That brings my energy out of my head, through my body, down to my feet, which grounds me. Okay, it gets me out of my head. And sometimes when we're in empathy fatigue, we're caught up in our heads, right? With the worries and I feel horrible. I don't know what's wrong with me, all of those things. So if we do ground ourselves, that can help. Another thing you can do is, I lost my list. Here it is. Bring yourself back to the present moment to get out of your head. Okay, so you focus on your body sensations, you focus on your breath. Okay, so if you notice you're stuck up here again, just pay attention to your physical body. And then if you're really overwhelmed, my noticing your surroundings thing, like if you're really losing it or just feeling horrible, what you can do is just notice your surroundings. I see this lamp over here. The light bulb has burned out. It's got colored flowers on the shade, etc. And it brings your attention over there. And of course, one of our favorites is counting your blessings, right? So if you're feeling drained, can't think clearly, just start looking around and thinking about what you have that's good in your life and do it as long as you can. And that will help shift your energy into a more empowered state. Okay, so those are a couple of energetic things. Another thing, and here's an excellent thing to do, is to prioritize yourself. You know, we've got to know our limits. And now especially, it's different than it used to be. We used to be able to do more. We used to be able to experience more chaos and turmoil, and it was okay. But our energies are much more sensitive now. So know your limits, and you may have to change them. And if it's too much, say no to yourself or others if necessary. We've got to shift our mindset and recognize that it's not selfish to take care of ourselves. And if that means cutting back on some things, telling people no, that's okay. We've got to speak up for ourselves, and we've got to be willing to look at ourselves honestly and say to ourselves, okay, is this really what I want? So we want to be mindful with how we're thinking, what we're doing, all of that. And we want to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves, how am I really feeling? What do I need? And one of my more favorite techniques these days, I've been using for months and months now, is pause, breathe, choose. So something's happening, whatever it is in your life. What you do is you pause, you take a nice deep breath because that gets you grounded, centered, back in your body. You breathe, bringing you back in, and then you choose. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? You're going to listen to yourself so you know where you're going to go. You're going to listen to yourself before you decide what your choice is. Now, this is very similar to the idea of setting a morning intention of how you want your day to go, because you are deciding what you're going to do. You're being intentional. You're reclaiming your power. This is so important, not only in our regular everyday life, but also when we're dealing with the empathy fatigue. So pause, breathe, choose. So easy, So simple to remember that. Pause is when you catch yourself, breathing, center, and grounding, and then you check in with yourself and you decide what you're going to do, say, whatever, right? Julie says if we don't take care of ourselves, we are not doing any good for those who we have a desire to help, right? And all of you are helpers, aren't you? You're all helpers. You want to be there, right? Greg is saying this idea is so important. These are not normal or typical times. They are not. We cannot expect as much of ourselves as we could when times were simpler or more hopeful. We can't. And that's okay. That's okay. Let me get emphatic about that. That's okay. We are changing. Our energy is evolving. The world's energy is evolving. We've got to give ourselves some grace. Give ourselves a break. Decide who we want to be and how we want to live. Do we want to live as our soul or not? Some people don't. A lot of people don't. Really, they don't. So I'm teaching that Transcendence Rise Above the Darkness class. Some people aren't interested in living as their soul. Some people aren't interested in having more peace and joy. And that's their right and that's their path in this lifetime. Okay, for me, it is a passion for me that I do want to live as my soul. I do want to be spiritually connected. I do want to be channeling information that's helpful for other people. That is me. That's what I do. So it depends on your path, who you want to be and what you're going to do. Thank you for the stars, Elizabeth. Appreciate it. So we want this. We want to recognize that the state of the world, the state of our own energy is actually temporary. It is not permanent. I know that it seems that the energy of the world is definitely heading in the wrong direction. I know it seems like that. But I want to also tell you that the light of the world is also getting stronger too. And you are a part of that. So eventually, even in this temporary, strange empathy fatigue feeling, give yourself a break with that, but it's temporary, and eventually you are going to feel more like yourself. You really are, okay? Part of the empathy fatigue is that we resist it, right? We want it to go away. So we ignore it, we deny it, we push it aside. But when we're honest, when we're aware, when we're open, we can acknowledge how we really feel. And when we do that, we go, you know what? I am feeling pretty crappy today. Okay? That doesn't mean we're going to stay there, but I'm feeling pretty crappy right now. Once we do that, we move into acceptance. Okay, I'm feeling crappy. And that doesn't mean I like it, but there's a relief and a freedom that comes from identifying how we're really feeling and then being honest with ourselves. It's like, okay, that's what's happening. But if I'm feeling crappy, right, then I can go, okay, I'm feeling crappy. What can I do to help myself feel better? Right there, you're reclaiming your power again. Every time you reclaim your power, even for such a small little thing, it makes a difference. It helps replenish your energy, and it's going to help you get stronger, be able to handle the empathy fatigue, and even get rid of it. Okay, so that's going to help. So it's okay to say, I can't handle that now, or no, I need to be careful with my energy. I can't do that right now. So one of my favorite things, and many of you have heard me talk about this, I'm sure, and it's in my book, Courageously You, the let go and trust process that I really like to use when I need to get rid of something in my head. So if I am feeling empathy fatigue, I want to let go of my fatigue. So I would say, I let go of the fatigue. I let go of feeling tired. I let go of feeling like there's something wrong with me. I let go of the apathy. And you list everything you want to let go of and go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And eventually you'll get to a point where you go, okay, I think I've said everything. And that actually, just by verbalizing, I let go of, helps move that energy out of your body and helps. Then you move into I trust. I trust that I will feel better. I trust that the world will be okay. I trust that I will be okay. I trust that I can handle this. I trust that my soul is evolving. I trust that I am evolving. I trust that I am a loving person. Whatever pops into your head. Okay, you want to do that. So let go and trust works very well also for empathy fatigue. Now you've noticed I'm giving you lots of different ideas to help you. This should be like a class. I think this is a beautiful free class for you this evening to help you feel better as we're moving through this darkness into the light. Sorry, it's this cough. It's not bad tonight so far. Another thing you can do, I got just a couple more quick little easy things for you. An energy power circuit is what I call it, okay? And I call it an energy power circuit for protection sometimes. You put your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your third chakra, which is about here, okay? So around your belly button area, that's your personal power chakra, okay? Heart, personal power. And what you're doing is you are connecting your personal power with your heart energy. This will strengthen and replenish your energy. You could also touch your personal power, third chakra, and your third eye, or your heart energy, and that would be to increase your divine, universal, energetic connection, okay? To connect, that would strengthen your personal power with the spirit and the divine, strengthen your loving energy with the spirit and the divine. You set the intention, okay? Set the intention, and it's easy. It's an energy thing, and it really works. That will be like 15 seconds. See, some of these things are really short. Some little mind shifts you might have to think about a little bit, but the energy things are great. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I talked about the letting go acupressure point, and I'll mention it again because it is very transformative. The 4 finger widths up from your armpit, and then in one finger, and there's a little indent there. That's the letting go acupressure point. So if you're struggling with something, you need to let go of it. That will help. When we let go of things, it opens our energy up for better things to come in. So it's important for us to be able to let go and let these energetic things move. Okay, and my final thing for you tonight, hope I didn't miss any of your questions as I was chatting on and on here. My final thing tonight to think about, to work with, to play with, is to pay attention to your words. If you are stuck in complaining, okay, that's just lowering your energy, and it's creating more of the empathy fatigue. Okay, if you are the kind of person who, and none of my followers or viewers are this, but if you are the kind of person who criticizes others or attacks others, same thing. You are dragging your energy down and making the empathy fatigue worse. You being you, as a kind, caring, loving empath who wants to help other people, and that's who you are. Own it. Take it on. Own it. That's who you are. Is that we want to be aware of the energy that we are giving to other people or toward ourselves. So it's very easy for us to criticize ourselves and go, oh, I'm such a jerk. I can't believe it. Right? But that's lowering our vibration. It's bringing more darkness into our own selves. So be aware of the words we're using. And you have 2 choices. Don't say them or substitute different words. So don't say them and substitute different words. I'm amazing. I'm wonderful. I'm doing such a good job. Oops, I made a mistake. No big deal. I'll fix it later. No problem. So we want to really watch our words. It's really interesting. I've told this story a couple times, but it's really good. I'm a violinist, as many of you know, and I play in the Erie Philharmonic in Pennsylvania. And so when we have concerts and stuff, the violins, we always sit with another person and we share our music, which can cause some issues if one of us has a problem singing or whatever. But that's beside the point for my story. Quite a few years ago, I decided I was not going to complain at all for a whole day. I wasn't going to complain at all because I had noticed I was a big complainer. And I thought, oh no, I have to stop that because that is not helpful. So I decided I wasn't going to complain. So I get to this rehearsal and I saw the person I was sitting with was not a very good violinist. And so I thought, oh no, and immediately my mind went to, oh, this is going to be such a pain. This is going to be hard, blah, blah, blah. And I could feel myself moving back into that negative thinking. And I said, nope, I'm going to stay in my commitment to not complain all day. So I did not complain. And I have to tell you, I had the best time sitting with that person. We had so much fun. And because my energy was more positive, I am convinced she played better. If I had been sitting there going, oh, judging her, because years ago I was quite the judger too. If I had been doing that, she wouldn't have known what was happening, but the energy would have affected her, right? So let's own it. If we're a complainer, let's stop doing that. If we judge other people, let's stop doing that to the best of our ability. So we want to do this because every time we make a positive step toward living as our soul, we raise our vibration, which raises the world's vibration. And our words can tell us where we might be falling into a trap of complaining or bullying or criticizing ourselves or others, or judging, etc. So we definitely want to look at our words. Now tonight, I've told you many, many, many things here. I feel like I should make you a handout of all of these things so that you can have it as a resource, because this has been literally a class for you guys tonight on empathy fatigue and what to do, and so many options, because there is a lot for us out there. There are a lot of solutions. And I'm going to go back to one more thing, which is our connections with other people. I have been told implicitly by Spirit, particularly in the last few weeks, how important it is that as we move forward on our spiritual soul adventure, that we must be with other people, that the human connections with other people are essential to help us evolve into the best, highest version of ourselves. Okay, so this, for those of you who are introverts and like to stay home, I can be one, we must find our people. We must find the people where we are safe to talk to them about these topics, where we are safe to be ourselves. One of the best things Greg ever said to me was, "You are so you." And I was like, ooh, that's awesome, because how amazing is it to be with people who accept you as you truly are? Flaws and everything. You know, quirks, they get your quirks. They may not like them or whatever. They get your quirks, and where you're that accepted. That's amazing. This is the energy we are moving toward in this world. Okay, that's where we're going, where everybody is accepted, where everybody is included, where it doesn't make a difference about anything other than the fact that everybody is a human and everybody deserves to have a loving, wonderful life filled with kindness all around them. That's the way it's supposed to be. And this is part of the reason why I teach what I teach. That's part of the reason why we have the Soul Empowerment Community. We'll be opening the registration up for that pretty soon. This is why we do these things. So we need to find our people, okay? Coaching groups, classes, knitting classes, whatever. It doesn't have to be all spiritually connected, but we've got to find our people. And we are going to together, like whenever I have a coaching group, what happens is every person evolves. And because each person does something, we all evolve faster and we all go higher. Even I do. Okay. So when I'm doing a coaching group, I get more and more information from Spirit and my guide. So much information. So as I evolve, you evolve. And that works for here too in my radio show. It works. You know, when something really awesome comes in here for me, it's helping you raise your vibration. When you have an insight, you're helping me raise my vibration. How cool is this? And this is because we are all connected. It is the oneness. That is where we're heading. So if y'all have any questions about the Transcendence Rise Above the Darkness class, again, very reasonably priced. Let me just tell you this. I charge $175 for 45 minutes with me, okay? This class is $125 for 4 hour-and-a-half sessions with me. It's going to be a mix of practical teaching and a mix of whatever my guide comes through to say to you, and answering your questions, as well as also what they have told me to teach. So it's an amazing deal. Not going to see something like this anytime soon. It will be starting in the mid-January. I recommend signing up sooner rather than later to make sure you have a spot, because I do have a limited number. Okay, so there is that. Woohoo! Was this fun or what? I had fun talking about all this stuff. In case y'all haven't noticed, lots of times when I teach something, it's because I've needed to learn it myself. And I also have been experiencing some of the empathy fatigue, but I've got all these ideas that have been helping me. So that's cool. So I hope you've had fun tonight. I will be here next week. Don't know what I'm talking about yet. I will wait till Spirit tells me, because Spirit always tells me. And then we'll find out and see. So I hope you enjoyed this. I think probably next week I do definitely need to do some more, like soul readings and stuff. I feel like I haven't done them in like 3 weeks. So we'll probably throw those in there or ask some questions. You got some questions, maybe a Q&A, and all that. I'm reading what Julie says. I've started taking a caregiver role for my father. I hadn't considered the reason for my feeling of personal decline is actually empathetic exhaustion. It truly is, Julie. Your live video class this evening has been so enlightening and informative. Many, many thanks. You are most welcome. And thank you for taking the caregiving role for your father. And even though I'm sure there must be times where it's quite a struggle, I know that your heart is, that's the right thing for your heart. And just make sure you take care of yourself too. Of course, you know this, but I'll say it in case somebody else needs to hear it. Just take care of yourself too. Okay, y'all. Thank you. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. Hopefully the rest of the congestion leaves soon. Okay, you all have a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.